Every single cruise port has two versions of itself. There is the version the cruise line sells you, the glossy excursion brochure, the overpriced beach club, the same tour bus route that 500 other passengers are already boarding. And then there is the real version, the one that takes a little more curiosity, a little more nerve, sometimes $0. Today we are talking about 5 hidden gems that most cruise passengers completely miss. And I am not talking about obscure itineraries or secret ships. I am talking about ports you have already been to or are probably already booked into, where almost nobody is doing it right. Let us get into it. Gem number 1, Bacalar from Costa Maya. Costa Maya is one of those ports that gets written off fast. You pull in, you see the pier complex, you see the overpriced margarita stands, and the swim-up pool designed to keep you right there spending money. And a lot of passengers just shrug and say, fine, this is it. It is not it. About 2 hours from that pier is one of the most surreal places in all of Mexico. A place that looks like someone took the Caribbean and made it into a lake. Bacalar. This is a freshwater lagoon that stretches for about 42 kilometers, and the color of the water changes from deep navy to turquoise to crystal clear as you move through it. They call it the Lake of 7 Colors. That is not marketing. That is actually what it looks like. There is a small colonial town on the edge of it, cobblestone streets, a Spanish fort built in the 1700s, local restaurants where you will spend maybe $12 on a full meal. Here is how you do it. Skip the pier excursions entirely. Walk out of the cruise terminal and negotiate directly with one of the local taxi drivers for a shared van out to Bacalar. You are looking at roughly 2 to 2.5 hours each way. That is a long day trip, so this one works best if your ship has a late departure. Check your port time before committing. Once you are there, rent a kayak or book a short boat tour on the lagoon itself. Swim in it. Eat lunch at one of the waterfront spots in town. What you will not find there is crowds of cruise passengers, because most of them never left the pier. That is exactly the point. Gem number 2, the Great Blue Hole from Belize. Belize City as a cruise port has a reputation problem. The city itself is not a tourist destination. You tender in, you get the hard sell from every tour operator on the dock, and if you are not careful, you end up on a generic snorkel boat or a Mayan ruins trip that 40 other ships have already sent people to that day. But Belize sits on the edge of one of the most extraordinary dive and snorkel sites on the planet, the Great Blue Hole. This is a massive underwater sinkhole about 70 kilometers offshore from Belize City. It is circular. It is roughly 300 meters across. The water drops to over 400 feet deep. From above, it is an almost perfect dark blue circle, surrounded by the lighter turquoise of the reef. Jacques Cousteau called it one of the top dive sites in the world. He was right. Now, here is the honest conversation you need to have with yourself before booking this one. If you are a certified diver, this is a non-negotiable. You have to go. The dive itself takes you down to see the famous stalactites that form the walls of the sinkhole. It is unlike anything else in the Caribbean. If you are a snorkeler, you will still get the visual experience. You will not dive the hole itself, but the surrounding reef is outstanding, and you will absolutely see the formation from above and from the water surface. Most tour operators offer snorkel options. The trip runs most of the day. You are taking a small plane or a fast boat out to the atoll, spending time at the Blue Hole, and returning. Book this in advance, not through the ship if you can help it, because the ship markup is significant. Do your research on the Belize City dock operators or book direct through a licensed Belizean dive operator before you ever leave home. One more thing. The Blue Hole sits inside a UNESCO World Heritage Marine Reserve. There are entry fees and conservation regulations. That is a good thing. Pay them without complaint. This is one of those ports where the real experience is completely off the pier, entirely worth the effort, and remembered for the rest of your life. Gem number 3. Local beaches in Nassau, not Atlantis. Here is one that is going to ruffle some feathers. Nassau is on the overrated list for a lot of cruise travelers, and I understand why. It feels commercial. It feels like it was built entirely for cruise ship traffic. Cable Beach is right, but busy. And the massive shadow of Atlantis looms over every port day because the cruise line would very much like you to spend a few $100s over there. Here's what most people do not know. There are beaches in Nassau that are genuinely beautiful, nearly empty on port days, and either free or extremely cheap to access. Jaws Beach, out on the western end of New Providence, is one of them. It is a long stretch of pale sand and clear water, named because they filmed part of a certain movie there. It is not a cruise ship beach. It is a local beach. You are going to see Bahamian families there, not tour buses. Goodman Bay is another one. It is a public beach right in Nassau, easy to get to, and the kind of calm, shallow water that is perfect if you just want to get in the ocean and decompress. The Clifton Heritage National Park on the southwestern tip of the island is one of the most under-visited sites in the Bahamas. Archaeological ruins, coastal scenery, and very few cruise passengers because it requires a bit more attention to reach. For all of these, grab a local taxi from the pier. Negotiate a price up front. Tell the driver specifically where you want to go, and do not let them redirect you to a commissioned beach bar. Nassau taxi drivers are friendly. They know these spots, and they will take you there if you are direct about it. Nassau does not have to be the throwaway port day. You just have to be willing to leave the tourist corridor. Gem number 4, small group tours in Cozumel. Cozumel is interesting because it is actually a legitimately great port. The reef system there is world-class. The island itself is beautiful. The problem is not Cozumel. The problem is the scale. On a busy port day, multiple ships are docked simultaneously. The main strip fills up. The popular reef sites get crowded. The snorkel boats stack up on top of each other at Palancar and Columbia. The excursion experience starts to feel more like a theme park than a natural wonder. The fix is simple, and it applies to Cozumel more than almost any other Caribbean port. Go small. There are independent dive and snorkel operators in Cozumel who run boats with 8 to 12 people maximum. They are not harder to find. They are not significantly more expensive. They are just not the option the cruise pier is designed to funnel you toward. When you book a small group tour in Cozumel, a few things change. Your boat gets to move faster to less congested sites. Your guide has time to actually interact with you instead of managing 30 people. If you are diving, you get real attention. If you are snorkeling, you are not being herded through the water. Cozumel also has a very underrated food scene away from the pier. San Miguel, the main town, has taco stands and local restaurants where a full meal costs almost nothing. The Mercado Municipal is a few blocks from the tourist zone and worth 30 minutes of your time, just to see how different it feels from the waterfront. The reef will blow you away. It always does. But the experience of the reef is dramatically different when you are one of 10 people on a boat versus one of 35. Do the research. Book direct. Go small. Gem number 5, staying on the ship. This one always gets a reaction. You paid for the cruise. You are pulling into a port. And I am telling you that one of the best hidden gem experiences in cruising is sometimes deciding not to get off the ship. Here is the context. There will be a port on your itinerary that does not excite you. Maybe it is the second stop in a row that is selling the same beach club experience. Maybe it is a tendering situation on a rough sea day and the process alone is going to eat 2 hours. Maybe you are genuinely tired. When almost every passenger leaves the ship, something happens that most cruisers never see. The ship becomes yours. The main pool goes from shoulder to nearly empty. The hot tubs are open. The spa sometimes runs port day discounts. The buffet has no line. The specialty restaurants occasionally offer port day pricing. The sun deck is peaceful in a way it never is at sea. There is a version of the cruise ship experience that the brochure does not show you, and that is the ship when it is quiet. More than that, some ports are legitimately better appreciated from above. If you are anchored off a scenic coastline or a volcanic island, sitting on an upper deck with a coffee and watching the landscape is its own kind of experience. This is not about being lazy. This is about being intentional. The passengers who get the most out of a cruise are not the ones who sprint off the ship at every port. They're the ones who read each stop on the itinerary and ask themselves honestly, what do I actually want today? Sometimes the answer is Bacalar. Sometimes the answer is the Great Blue Hole. And sometimes the answer is a sun lounger by an empty pool with a book and no agenda. All three are correct answers. Here is what all 5 of these have in common. None of them are secrets that require special access or insider knowledge. They just require you to look past the first option you are offered. The cruise industry is very good at creating a default experience. The default experience is fine. But fine is not why you saved up for a cruise and got on a ship. The ports we talked about today, whether it is a lake in Mexico that looks like another planet, a sinkhole in the middle of the Caribbean Sea, a quiet beach in the Bahamas that actual locals use, a small dive boat in Cozumel with room to breathe, or a pool deck where you can hear yourself think. They all exist inside itineraries you might already have booked. You just have to choose them. If you found this useful, the subscribe button is right there, and it costs you nothing. We have dedicated port guides on this channel going deep on a lot of these destinations. So check those out, and I will see you in the next one.